Number 19, Tennessee. Josh Heupel's first season at Tennessee. 22 commits for them, 6 of which are ESPN 300 commits. They had 9 3-stars and 11 4-stars. It was interesting because I was following this cycle, and it looked like it was probably going to be one of the best in Knoxville for a while. I think, weren't they like number 3 at one point? I know ESPN had them tagged at like number 3 back in August. I think
they were up there, and then the wheels fell off.
But obviously, tons of stuff has happened, and then things kind of got turned upside down with another head coaching change. But still, number 19, not too shabby. They got a big win out of Alabama in ESPN 300 pass rusher Dylan Brooks, the number 5 defensive end. Obviously, Tennessee is going to want to recruit out of Georgia as well, and they did that with ESPN 300 wide receiver Julian Nixon. He was the number 30 wide receiver. And then also with ESPN 300 running back Cody Brown, he was the number 12 running back. Both of them came from there. So North Carolina, always important as well. And they got ESPN 300 athlete Cayman Marley, the number 15 athlete. And he's one of the most versatile prospects in the class, apparently. So the key in-state athletes that they were able to keep home included 4-star wide receiver Walker Merrill, the number 56 wide receiver, and the 4-star William Parker, number 21 offensive guard. So, Matt, let's start with you first. Tennessee, what are your thoughts? Okay.
I don't.
None of that excites you?
No, it's not that. It's just as a Tennessee fan, I'm looking at my program and I'm going, I have no idea what's happening. No clue. No idea what's happening at all. Looking at these names, looking at these ratings, I mean, yes, 4 stars are great. It looks like we're getting a little bit of a shot in the arm as far as our defense goes. 4-star inside linebacker, a couple more players here and there. I know that Heupel's offenses in the past have been bombing offenses that put up a lot of points. Granted, that's in Central Florida. I don't know how well that's going to translate to the SEC. I mean, we remember that Mike Leach was going to reset the SEC offensive records, and then we all saw that turned out. So yay.
Yeah.
I don't know what to make of any of it.
You did better than Carolina.
That's true. That is true. I just feel like I've been in this weird kind of, I hate to use the word ambivalent, but I feel like that's kind of where I'm at. I'm like, this is great. Okay, we'll see what happens. Come on,
fine. Everything's fine.
But I don't know what to make of it.
To that point, though, we've tried a lot of things, and I'd say that his style is very much different from Pruitt. So who knows? Maybe that's the shakeup that they need, and we'll see. So
I know there's been a lot of talk on Vol Twitter. I'm still paying attention to Vol Twitter. There's been a lot of talk about these position coaches that they've been hiring and the coordinators and whatnot. And there's been a lot of, I hate to use the term knob polishing, but there has been a lot of knob polishing when it comes to saying this coordinator put up these kind of points at their previous school and this offensive coordinator did this and this and that. I'm like, all of that's outside the SEC. So we have to temper our expectations a little. So
yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I am not very optimistic. I wasn't real thrilled with that hire to begin with, but then again, they could have resurrected the body of Bob Nealand and rolled it out on a cart, and I probably still would have been like, this is gonna be all right. I guess we'll see.
This is fine.
Yeah,
everything's fine.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah, Jesse, just looking at these numbers here, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, 19, not bad. Could have been a lot worse. But here's the thing too, is when Jeremy Pruitt was hired, he was coming out of Bama as a coordinator and got hired in like January. And he was still able to pull off a top 25 recruiting class his first year starting in January. He's, one of those Saban disciples, a lot of hype. Everyone's like, he pulled off a top 25 recruiting class. He played under a national championship winning team and coach that is historically great at fostering coaching talent. And it didn't pan out. So I understand fans on Vol Twitter, on everywhere in the Vol universe, being a little apprehensive and unsure because, since 2009, there's been 7 coaches, head coaches. That's a lot. That's a lot of turnover. And that's hard to build up that legacy in your program, in your players, because your players help in recruiting too. So it's not that Tennessee in the past has not had the talent. They've certainly had the recruiting talent. It's just fostering it. And I haven't seen enough of the new coach, and I don't know enough about him to know if he's going to be able to, number one, foster the talent, but number two, truly change the attitude in that locker room and on that campus. Because right now I get the feeling it's not great. And that is half the battle.
I think part of it is just kind of possibly even changing the attitude in the locker room, which, don't get me wrong, I think Pruitt is a very competitive individual. I think he's a good coach. I don't think he's a very good head coach, just from what I've seen in reactions to people who have had to work with him. It seems like he's a very difficult, and as we said, it can be very good for a certain type of coach, but you can't have that kind of personality as a head coach.
There are those that are meant to be coordinators. Will Muschamp, Jeremy Pruitt, Jim McElwain. I mean, gosh, I'm literally naming so many Sabanites, but a lot of the
ex-Florida coaches too.
Right?
Yeah.
But I mean, for a while too, in a big caliber program, Lane Kiffin was the same way. So sometimes you're made for middle management. Not everyone is made to be at the top of the pyramid. That's why the pyramid's so small.
It's true.
Not to mention that last week there was an article that came out that I can't remember which assistant coach it was, but there was an assistant coach that worked with Pruitt his first year, and apparently Pruitt ran a very sloppy shop, is what that guy said. Now, again, take that with a grain of salt, but given what's happened at Tennessee and given what we've heard and all the other stuff, Pruitt wasn't the guy. So,
yeah,
time to move on. And
I bet Heupel
buy into the Heupel.
I bet Heupel knows what asparagus is.
Oh God, it hurts!
Oh,
it hurts so bad. Oh, buy into the Heupel. God Almighty, please.
Are you going to get that shirt?
No, I'm not. Not doing that. Not buying any more Tennessee stuff until they figure their stuff out. So they almost had to break out the censor button there for my mom, Wes. He
probably knows what asparagus is. So that's a good step.
Well, I would hope so.
That was the first red flag.
That was so endearing when it happened. I was like, oh, he's so quaint. He's just folksy. And I look back and go, no, he was a moron. God help us.